stream. Yes, I do. Your event is starting. Hello. There we go. We're already chatting in the chat over here. How are you all? Hello, Alexi. Hello, Trollsjohn. I got a Ron, Twilight Biscuit, Jeff Hollowell. Way, Jeff's on here live. How are you all? So yes, this one's going to be a little bit fun. It's going to be fun because I'm opening up the Little Empire track again, which we did, pretty comprehensively last week. So you're thinking, why would I open up the same song again? Well, it's fun because it has a blend of electronic, it has a blend of live stuff, guitars, it has a bass which is actually a synth bass, and it has some live drums recorded here in a small kit. I like using this session because it's pretty typical of something you could do in a home studio. There's only 7 mics on the drum kit, and the rest of it's like 1 mic or a DI. I mean, this session is mixed in a box. There is no reason why you could not record this because it's got an LCT 940 on the vocals. There's nothing about this which says massively expensive. This was completely done with a $400 drum kit and Lewitt mics. So I like using this one because I think it's a little bit more indicative of how most people are working. So how are you all? Oh, you know what, Lee? That we just sent the email out. It's I'm running a little behind today in all the 10,000 things that I'm doing. And we've still yet to film Feedback Friday. We also, for all the Academy members, Alan says he's tired. I am a little tired, but it's okay. Yeah, so Lee, the email only just went out. Hello in Cambodia. Hey, Brett. Hello in Saskatoon. 15 dB more, please. They're saying it's quiet. Had to pause yesterday's video from Daryl to jump over. Oh, yeah, isn't that such a good video? Oh, it's Brian May's birthday. Wow. You know what? I've got to write to him because I got his information and I'm so excited. Ripper says his stuff sounds dated. Start using virtual instruments. Use virtual instruments. I mean, it's going to be a good way to get yourself. My wife gave me this. Hot in Finland. Yeah, it's hot everywhere, I think. You just woke up? Well, let's get these sideburns, get some presentation. I didn't just wake up, but I feel like it. Mixing as we speak. I want maracas to sound like maracas, not like sniffles. Boost mids, cut top. Yeah, no, actually, to be honest, a little bit that little clip at the top, I would probably go to some 7K and put a little bit up there. You'd be surprised, because even though, hello, I'm in Guildford. I love Guildford. I grew up very close to it. Just that cracking sound. And also, don't be afraid. I'm never afraid on percussion to put a little bit of saturation on there. Like to make a tambourine sound a little thicker, I'll slightly saturate it. A little lo-fi plug-in, a little bit of that, a little decapitator. Our good friend, the MJUC, that's the Klanghelm, is fantastic. Hello, Sean. Yeah, so sorry we didn't, we only just sent out the email. It's 121 of you watching. Thank you ever so much. Would you do me a massive favour and all hit that like button? Tired is my middle name. Oh, I think so. It's this is what we do. Yesterday we were mixing a song for Rick Springfield. I can't say what it is, but we mixed a song for him. It was very exciting. We balanced about 50 different projects, did lots of editing, and generally had a very busy day. When I talked to a bunch of really cool people, answered tons of emails, answered tons of questions. Yeah, a little bit of saturation wouldn't be a bad thing. On a maraca, probably only a tiny bit. And I think the MJUC might be your secret. Thank you for liking. There's 48 likes, 140 people watching. H-Town. Where is H-Town? Houston, I'm presuming, because it says Media Man Houston. I love Rick. Did you guys hear the album I did with him this year? Hit the bell thingy and don't forget to subscribe, says Sean, thank you. Did you hear his new album? That was so much fun to do. Ace Frehley's album should be out soon. We just tweaked a single for a UK release a few days ago. I think we talked about that on Tuesday because we had just done it. And apart from that, we're working on 15 other projects all at once, as ever. Rather Rather blessed. What can we say? Okay, I'm going to move over to Pro Tools for a second. And let's bring this up. Hello there in Israel. How do you survive those periods when suddenly starts hating his or her own music? It's typical. You just have to get through it. Hello there in Germany, Dante. What is the album called? The new, I don't know what the new Ace Frehley album's called off the top of my head. I probably do. Quad guitar tracks panned. Yes, I mean if it's heavy rhythms, I'll go left, right, but make sure you're not just repeating the guitar track. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of the house or house effect, as different people call it. All right, so let's have a quick listen to this track. You know this. We looked at it last week. It's a girl vocal. It's Lily. Here we are. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Backseat, weigh me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off.
Cool, so that's the track. Let's get the screen. Hey, there we are. I'm up at the top. Hello, everybody. All right. So let's just play a little bit more of that track so you can hear it. You probably heard it last time. What I like about this particular one is we did it also with Bob Horn. So if you're going to win the course today, we have 3 giveaways of the course, but we're also going to give away a plugin that I haven't even tried yet. They agreed to give us the plugin to try and do it as a giveaway. They are that excited by it. And I am very excited by this plugin. But I haven't even heard it yet. I love doing this. You notice in all of my reviews that we always just unbox it and plug it in. And sometimes we unbox it, plug it in, and do it wrong. You know, not sometimes. Most of the time, I don't do it properly. I screw it up. I make a mess of it. But I'm sort of glad. It sort of shows what it's like to do this in the real world. You know what I mean? It's like when you buy equipment, especially as a guy, it's one of the shortcomings of being a guy. Let's be honest. Guys, we have this tendency to buy something, unbox it, start using it, and then read the instructions 2 years later and realize that we've been using it wrong for 2 years. At least that's me. Maybe you're all amazing and you buy the product and read the instructions and install it properly. Probably if you were Sam. Are you watching Sam? Sam Elmerman in Germany. I think Sam would probably read the instructions and get it right for the first time. Me, not so much. Yes, we're going back to this one because I thought, why the heck not go back to this one? Because it's a great course. I think primarily the reason why I like using this song is we have a really good course, number one. So you can, if you wanted to get it, you can get with me doing a full mix breakdown and Bob Horn. But this was recorded in my room in there. So basically it's 7 mics only on a drum kit with a couple of samples thrown in, and it's so attainable. The bass sound is vacuum. The guitar sounds are really simple and the vocals are really simple. I mean, there is nothing about this song that you couldn't do with your DAW and 7 cheap mics on your drum kit. You could buy the Lewitt drum mic package and off you go, because that's what we used. And this is all completely mixed in the box. There's not really any massively... Michael says, manual? We don't need no stinking manual. Well, I'm glad, Michael, because... yeah, I think there are people that read manuals, and my hat is off to them, and they're probably 10,000 times smarter than me as a result. But I'm a tactile guy. I like to open things up and plug them in and make things work. I'm creative. I'm a musician. I grew up in an arts household. My father was a painter, and he listened to classical music and jazz. And you all know that if you've watched me. And so I grew up like surrounded by arts and not surrounded by the sort of engineering-y stuff. Now, for those of you that also happen to be parents like myself, you'll know that your kids aren't exactly like you. My daughter is super artsy and loves doing ballet and dancing, and she's only 3. But my son is all about technical stuff. all about the technical stuff. He loves computer stuff and programming, and he's only 11. So there you go. Yes, I really like Vacuum. That's not the plugin that we're going to try out from nowhere. But all right, so let's have another listen to the track.
Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off. You've got another life. It's taking its toll on you.
All right, so that's a bit more of the song than we usually do. I have this tendency usually to just play like a bar and then start mixing. And all of you say to me, but Warren, we didn't hear the song. So, hey, for a change, I played a little bit more of it. So that was a chorus, post-chorus, re-intro, and a little bit of the second verse. Now, quite a few of you are talking about the manuals. Somebody said I opened the manual. Does that count? I mean, that's about as... Sometimes I don't even get that far, but I hear you. Oh, you used the warehouse kick? If you haven't already signed up for Produce Like a Pro, please go and sign up, because people here are talking about the free drum samples that we give out, that we used on Aerosmith and The Fray and all kinds of amazing bands. And and also in mixes on Rick Springfield, on Ace Frehley, over the last few weeks, and all the other albums that we're mixing. Okay, yeah, it's very clean and fat. It's a catchy tune. Thank you ever so much. Okay, so this is what I want to do. I want to try out this new plugin, and I haven't even heard it yet. And let me see if I can find it. Let's find out a purpose. So let's have a little bit of a build-up. It'll probably build up and then it won't work. All right, here's the build-up. You see this thing behind me? We all know what that is. That is an SSL. It's an SSL. It's a wonderful console. It's a 4,000 frame. It's got a massive combination of E and G EQs. All the ones that people love. So there's E and G EQs in it. And it's weird because the console, a lot of these channels came from the Johnny Carson console. And I know that because Bruce, there's Desk Doctor, who's a good friend and basically maintains everybody in LA's consoles. Hats off to him. He also himself builds amazing consoles. Bruce said to me, he opened it up and pulled out a channel and went, wow, Johnny Carson. I was like, how do you know? And he goes, because I installed it. He worked for SSL for years. And anyway, so some of you might be guessing what I'm about to talk about. Well, today, officially, it was a soft release over the last week or so, but today, officially, came out a new plugin. And I haven't tried it yet. Goodness, I hope it's in there. So, if you know how I mix, typically, this is mixed in the box. The classic rock one we did a few days ago is mixed in the box. But normally, when I'm mixing like a big record and stuff, and I want to use all my fancy gear, I mix in the box, hybrid through the console. So here, I don't know if you can see it, you can't, but it says strings. There's a pair for strings here. There's a DBX parallel coming back up there. So I'm using parallel compression. There is a sub here for my DBX 120 XT, which is 120X, I think it's called, which is a subharmonic synthesizer I put on my kick sometimes. There's a Crush drums here, another parallel. There's backgrounds in stereo. Anyway, you're getting the idea. Stuff that I do inside the box, I bring back onto the console, and I have individual control there. I still like the ergonomic feel of a console, but more importantly, I like the sound of an SSL. I do. I love recording through Neves and APIs. BAE are really good friends of mine, as you know. I've been buying their equipment since 2000, I believe. So maybe 99, whenever they started. So right at the get-go, before Mark bought the company, like 15 plus years. He's had the company for about 15 years. But I started right at the get-go with that company. So I have a long history of a lot of these things. Okay, it's a big build-up, isn't it? Can anybody guess what I'm about to do? I think some of you are so smart that you probably know what it is. Aha! Mark Roy Rainey and Joe Mama. There you go. Aha. Okay. Does everybody see what they wrote? You got it. I haven't tried it yet. So so the reason why I'm giving this big build up is because I'm excited to do it. But look, here's the kick drum. Let's do just the kick. Now, that is a combination of a sample, one sample, and the one live kick. And I put the two together. Now, what I would normally do on my console is not just bus them to a stereo, but I'd bus them before that to an SSL channel. Dun, dun, dun. So why don't we do that? You guessed it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bus that to mono, bus 11, and now I'm going to create a new auxiliary track. Make that input. Yes, you guessed it. I'm doing this really slow. Everybody, when I see me do this slow, goes, "Oh, you can do it so much faster," and then they name their particular DAW. Well, I'm doing this slow because I want to obviously illustrate to everybody what I'm doing. So now I'm going to call this, you guessed it, kick sub or kick bus. I'll call it kick sub. So now we have the kick going through another auxiliary, going to the drum sub. Nothing changed, obviously. But what it does do is allow us to now have some fun. Alrighty. Dum 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 dum. I don't see it. Plug-in Alliance. There it is. Wow. Insane. All right, we're going to go for the E. The BX Console SSL 4000E. I haven't opened this yet. I hope it doesn't explode. Wow, look at that! Look at that! Let's be honest. I can't say the word, but it starts with S and ends with XC. So they hit me up a few days ago, or last week actually, and said that they had done this in conjunction with SSL. So look at that. I still haven't heard it. I'm just looking at it. What I do like, let's be honest, is look how big that opens. You know, sometimes when the plugins open and they're about this big, and then maybe you can expand them, maybe you can't. Look at that. It opens up, fills up the screen. Very, very nice indeed. So I just want to look at it. Before I do anything, I just want to look at it. Okay, so what do we got? We've got at the top, we've got everything that we're used to. This is the... I'm going to get there in a second. This... I'm already telling you, and I've got to let you know, there's a couple of things about this which already are game changers for me without hearing it. I know that sounds stupid. All right, so look. Here is obviously the high-pass filter, which is legendary on an SSL. It just is. Every guy that mixes and girl that mixes on an SSL, high and low passes. They're beautiful. So look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Okay. So just having the filters are wonderful. Okay, next up is the compression section. Yep, it's got everything I want to see. Expander. Obviously, dynamics in and out. It looks like it's defaulted on, which is nice. So if you don't know how to use this, it already starts turned on. That's on, see? Like that. EQ on. Okay, I'm really excited by one thing here that I'm going to get to in a second. Really exciting. Okay, EQ, everything I want to see. Really, really nice. Oh, look at that. It's got the black and the brown EQ. Oh, look. So I don't know if you can see. You probably can't because the camera's up all the way up here and the console's down there. But I have a combination of brown and black EQ. So I have the brown, I have the black, and I have both of those. Ooh, very nice indeed. Okay. You got a shelf and a bell, sorry, there. You got shelf and bell curve up there as well, which is really nice. But look, here is the thing that sorts out the men for the boys, which doesn't happen on all of the other ones that I've seen. Look at this. That. See what I just did? Do it again. I know you're all laughing at me like, what is he talking about? What is great about this? This allows me, that's basically, the dynamics of the sidechain is just really, really nice. So we'll be able to, well, we'll get to it in a second. This is really, really, really fun. This is really good. Oh, look. Oh, God, I'm so excited. I am so excited by this. This is really, really cool. Okay, let's have a listen to it. So at the moment, nothing's happening. Oh, wow. So it says dynamics that goes from E to G there. Oh, wow. Oh, God bless 15 programs running at once. That already sounds like an SSL compressor to me. That's great. Is that too subtle for you to hear, or can you hear that? Yeah, the sidechain EQ. So can you hear that? That just brings out the life of that kick and just the way that we want SSLs to work. That's so cool. That's really, really cool. Okay, so let's play with this expander a little bit. Wow, that's really good. I mean, look how it shaped it. Excuse me, losing my voice. Look how it shaped the kick there. That is amazing. I'll definitely put it in the mix in a second. I don't work in solo like this all the time. I'm just really excited because this sounds like what? This sounds like my SSL. This does what my SSL would do, because I'm mixing in a box here, and then I would send out hybrid over there. These are subtle things sometimes, but you can hear like how the extra punch is being put in. I'll bypass it now. It's really tasty. Okay, and we haven't even got into any EQ. So let's have some fun with the EQ. So I'm going to go down to 60. I'm going to boost it while it's playing, and you're going to have a listen. Yeah, baby. This is really, really cool. I'm going to do a full review of everything they did. They sent me this stuff, but I just got excited, so I wanted to introduce it into our live stream. Wow. I'm now going to pull out some of the ugliness. Yeah, the plugin is very efficient. I've just got lots of stuff running in the background. This is pretty darn good. I'm really, really, really excited by this. Thanks, VJ. It does sound clean and fat. It really does. See, this is what I've been looking for. I want to be able to. This sort of raises a really interesting thing for me, you know. And I was talking about this the other day. Maybe doing a complete mix, as though I was mixing hybrid, but substituting this plugin for my console. So it means I would bus everything. Now, the other day I was looking at one of Paul Tingen's. You know Paul? He's done a couple of videos with us. I was looking at one of his mix breakdowns that he did with Sound on Sound. Paul is very talented and a great guy, and I need to call him. Paul, if you're watching, I'll give you a call. And he was talking about how Rich Costey had moved in the box and built a complete emulation of an SSL. So this could be really exciting. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little clickage on here. I mean, there it is. It sounds like an SSL. It's very intuitive. Now, it's got this random channel feature, which I don't know much. Yeah, I think Market will be great. I don't. Yeah, it's got a random channel feature, which I don't know much about, but I've been told by all of you, because you are amazing. If you have told me that Brainworks have this function where each channel has a random randomness about that. So what do I mean? Well, I mean is I've got 40 channels. I had to look there for a second. I've had this sitting in here for 7 years, and I still look down to the end to see that there was 40. That's how crazy I am. So I have a 40-channel SSL, which is a pretty small format. You know, back in the ye olden days, 72 channels was pretty typical. 56 minimum for mixing. And this is a 40 channel. And I guarantee, well, obviously they're different EQs. Some of them are brown, some of them are black, some of them are red, some are E's, some are G's. I've got a lot of E's and a lot of G's. So obviously that is a factor. But also from one channel to another in the analog realm, they're all going to be different. So the idea of this randomness is really, really cool, because it brings in a little bit of random, which will make everything sound a little bit more unique. So yes, it's a Brainworks plugin. You can see Brainworks down here. It's officially released today. They sent it to us so that I could try it out. It's really, really exciting. And the great thing is, God bless them, is they said they would give us 3 copies of this plugin, which is the SSL 4000E. They will give us 3 copies to give away. And also, we are going to throw in the course, this one. I don't know if it's crosstalk, maybe. This is brand new. It's the Brainworks one, the 4000E. Yes, they are doing something with UAD as well. So anyway, I'm going to put it on other sources in a minute, and we're going to mix the song a little bit more and talk about that. But in the meantime, have you... let's find out some information about you, and in that way you can also yes, there's a phase invert up here, and there's gain. There's a gain control there. This is pretty darn tasty. Really, really excited. I mean, it already made it sound better. It did what I want an SSL to do. You know, I would probably put a little bit. I don't need 20 or anything on my kick, and I'd probably go to about 8K as well.
Pull your socks off, forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. You've got another life, it's taking its toll on you. I can feel you fading. Never one thing at a time. There's always something left behind. I can see through it now.
That's a good question. Good question that just came up. Is there? Oh yeah, look, there are presets. All right. Okay. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try the presets. You know, I'm just a clip. See, look, there's the example of the guy that never reads the manual. I didn't even look to see if there's any presets. And one of you that's smarter than me said, "Is there any presets?" Yeah, that's a pretty darn good sounding kick now.
Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off.
Yeah, it's doing exactly what my SSL does. Look, I'm playing it with it. Okay, here's with it off. So I'm going to do the hand down. Can you see me in the corner up here, everybody? Hello, I'm hiding up here. Look up to the top right. Okay, so I'm up here. So I'm going to do point down when it's off and point up when it's on. I mean, you can hear it, but I'll start with it off.
Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now you know I'm not like Mr. Only talk about one company. Yeah, there's got a 14-day free trial. I mean, they did this with SSL like properly. If they've got all the randoms and all this stuff, they must have modeled a lot of different 4000s. I don't know how many. I haven't spoken to them specifically about it, but they must. Yeah, there should be a Warren preset. Yes, I've been using it for approximately 20 minutes, and I already want a preset. I mean, it sounds fantastic. But we're going to go through the presets. But in the meantime, let's do the giveaway. Okay. What can we ask about? I should probably think about these before we start the streaming live video. What should we ask, Andrew? What questions should we ask? We need to know about our audience. Andrew has headphones on and is editing and cannot hear me. What should we ask? Let's find out about our audience. Have any of you ever mixed on an SSL? How about that? And if you have, which model? Okay, you have or SSL plugins. How about that? Let's make it that huge. Okay, so firstly, anybody can enter this to win. So you can even say, no, I've never mixed on an SSL. No, I've never used an SSL plugin. Whether it be their own ones, UADs, Waves, or Brainworks, you can say, no, I've never used SSL. That is a sufficient answer. But if you have mixed on an SSL or used SSL plugins, let us know. What have you used? What is the plugin or the console that you have used? It's okay to say no. And you don't, but have you used any of the plugins? And if you have, which ones are you using? Yeah, SSL plugins. Whose make? I'd like to know. The Waves SSL, Waves SSL. Oh yeah, Calrec. You can tell me about another console. AWS 900. SSL plugins. Is this SSL's own one or Waves? Lots of Waves there. SSL native. UAD. more UAD, Waves SSL, oh, the VMR, Stephen Slate. Oh, mixed on a 4056, 48, G plus, G channel. So what we're going to do, just so you know, is you're going to win one of these. You're going to win one of these plugins. You're going to win the SSL 4000E, and you're also going to win this course. So thank you very much, Brainworks, for letting us do this. We're gonna do a proper video where I actually get to use this on certain things. I just like me doing this, me opening it up and trying it for the first time. You've used the Waves. We're Waves guys. You know, MV2 is my favorite plugin, but this is a pretty remarkable plugin. Waves SSL, G Series console, nice. Native, Waves G, never. You've never used anything. The Slate. You want to win. That's okay. You can. You have the Waves. What's this? Waves SSL. I can see me. I'm watching me here. So. Oh, is it? Has it frozen? Have I frozen? Are you watching, Andrew? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, please. Oh, if you haven't, that's a good idea. Please subscribe. Oh, looks like I am waking. So yes, there's 320 people watching. Thank you ever so much. Slate, not frozen for me. SSL. Here we go. Who won? Oh, Daniel Duskini, or Duskin, sorry, and they had worked on an AWS 900. Fantastic. So you get this course, this course, and you get the Brainworks SSL. Okay, so a lot of you are asking, does it have presets? And I didn't know, because I'm that guy who never reads the manual, and I only just opened it up for the first ever time. So let's go and see what presets it's got and stick it on some things. Okay, so look. It says male vocals, female vocals, vocals clean, vocals dirty, piano, lead guitars, bass synth. You know what? What we got coming up next? Scroll down. All right. Looks like oh, that's just a DI with nothing on it. Here's some guitars. So let's do the same thing. This at the moment is no EQ, no compression, nothing on these guitars. This is exactly how I recorded them. So if you get this course, you can do exactly what I'm about to do. There's a bit of room. But we're not going to listen to the room a moment because we don't want to confuse ourselves. So what are we going to do? Yes, you guessed it. We're going to create another stereo auxiliary this time. So we'll send these two guitars. Let's create another stereo bus. So let's make it 1516. So we're going to come in 1516 here. Again, I'm going in slow motion. Thank you, Clay. Am I in a good mood? I'm glad to see it. Okay. All right. So here's our bus. Here's the guitars in the mix. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's go back and find it. Where the heck is it? Oh, I'm kind of an idiot with this stuff. Wow. Okay, so stereo, E, here it is. Thanks, Clay, for the $2. Oh, a stereo channel. That looks rather nice. All right, I'm just going to go because you were asking about beginners and using presets. So I'm going to see what their preset is. Lead guitars A. All right, here it is. What did they do on the lead guitars? So let's have a quick look at it. So they went up to about 120. That's pretty good. So I probably, on this part, I'd probably go to about 100 or 120. That's nice. They did a little bit of a cut at 8K. Interesting. And this is definitely good. They low pass to 8K here. They did some cut around about 1K here. Oh, sorry, some boost around about 1K, sorry. And then another boost at about 800. So it's going to be pretty honky. Let's have a listen. And then they boosted at 100. Now this is a good trick. You see what they did here? Are you able to see this? So it says plus 82 dB. This is their preset, and it's got a boost. It's at 106.3. That sounds like a radio station. At 106.3. Okay, so what have they done? Well, it's interesting to look at people's presets. So this is interesting. They are boosting and cutting at about the same place. See here? 121. They're actually high passing above the boost. This is a very, very clever and very normal thing that SSL users do. We boost and cut at the same places. Oh, to win the prizes, you just have to answer a dumb question. And I'll ask you a dumb question because my questions aren't that smart. Go to another channel if you want super smart. Here, we just try to be creative. All right, so what we're doing is we're boosting and cutting at the same place. It gives it a nice, sharp kind of EQ. So it's boosting at about 106, and then it's cutting at 120. Just moving this up a little bit. Hopefully you'll hear me better. Okay, the only thing I wouldn't normally do is cut. It looks like they're trying to tighten up the mid-range, but let's have a listen. So I haven't even listened yet. Now, as far as compression, not much. I mean, oh, that's not true. They've got a lot. I wasn't even looking properly. When I said there was not much, what I meant was there's a lot. So they've got the ratio at maximum, so it's on limit. But I don't know how much compression is going to be applied considering, you know, what level we're going in. So you have a gain control here, so you could push it a little harder. Let's have a listen. Oh, look at this. It's got a mix control. So you can do parallel. That's really nice. That is the great thing about plugins now that we didn't have on hardware. Growing up, we didn't have this on hardware. You didn't have a way to mix, meaning you couldn't annihilate it. Yeah, 106.3. Here we go. It's definitely got the mid-range. Let's see how that feels in the track exactly with the preset. All right, obviously, the level is completely different. So let's match the level a little bit more. I love what it's doing to those mids. I miss a little bit of the highs, a little bit. But this is an individual guitar part that works with this track. It's definitely got some more girth to it, their preset. of like that. So what I would probably do, just, starting from this point, because I want to give you the experience of what is it like going to a preset. What I would probably do, it does sound good with that riff because it actually works really well with this riff because there's no live bass and there's no raked chords. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no, there's no like, scrang. It's not the right plugin, it's the older one. Is this the older one? They're saying it's the older one. Oh yeah, I opened the older one. I'm an idiot. But I like it. Yay! Busted! You know how we say that I try something for the first time and I always mess it up? Well, I got it right the first time and then I got it wrong the second time. Yeah. And it's funny you should say that. Yeah, it's the old SSL one. All right, let's go back. Going back to lead guitars A. Same EQ points. So, as I was pointed out, this was the old one. This is the new one. And the one thing you can tell is look at the interface, how much nicer it is on the new one. It's really rather good, better looking. Thanks everybody else. And that wasn't IK Multimedia, it was Brainworks. It was just the older one, as you guys were saying. All right, in the track. But you know what? That was the biggest, happiest accident ever, wasn't it? Did you hear the difference between the old and the new one? Do you hear it? Now, it's still, it looks like it's still boosting and cutting the same frequencies. It's got a little bit more bite on the top, just a tiny bit more bite. And everything that I wanted to do on the other one, which was like just ease off the high cut a little bit, I was going to go to the old one and ease off the 8K a little bit and just bring it back to 0. I don't need to do now. Listen. There you go. So we inadvertently just found out the difference between the old one and the new one. I love doing this, and I love making mistakes, and I love doing them live. Because you know what we always say here? And there are no experts. There's the people that, don't do this for a living and are always telling you that you're doing it wrong. And then there's the rest of us who actually love doing this. And, so we inadvertently found out the difference between the new and the old one. The new one has a much more detailed high end going on. So immediately, I don't think I have to change it now. So there you go. See, we're talking about splitting the difference between the highs now. I don't need to do it. New one is more transparent. Yeah, it's definitely got a better high end. I mean, not that the other one was bad. Okay, all right, let's keep moving. So thanks for pointing that out. All right, let's do this. Our vocals are going here. Now this is really going to sort out the men from the boys.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind one more go. I can see through it now.
So what I'll do very often on my lead vocal is I'll do all of the stuff that you see going on there, and believe it or not, I'll go through my channel here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stick it on the end. So this time, we're going to go to the plugin, and we are going to go to the right one. The right one. And we're going to go to female vocal. And before, okay, so it immediately hit the G button for the dynamics. Interesting. There's some 250-ish boost there, but they're going up to 200, so a very similar kind of thing that we're talking about. And some 14K, so they're adding air over the top. A little 7K dip, so it doesn't get too harsh. Some typically around about 600 is where, so they're pulling out some of that. So this is pretty close to what I would do. And here's a big lesson. This is what we were talking about in the last one we did ago. Remember in the last time we were talking about how to be bold on EQ, and how there was a lot of misinformation about don't boost your EQs, don't high pass. You know, lots of people talking about things like that, and it will mess up the phase. Well, look, there's some bold moves going on here. There's at least 3 dB at 14K here. Not too much of a cut, but quite a decent cut here, and a nice boost there. So let's listen to it without it on.
I can see through it now.
Now let's put it on.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind.
I mean, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Does what my SSL does.
I can see through it now.
See, the way I use my SSL is I will mix in the box like this and then run hybrid. Oh my God, the phase! Did you look at the waveforms? Don't hit high. Yeah, if we hit high pass it, the whole thing explodes.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind.
That low mid cut, and this is the preset, was beautiful on her voice. Listen to it.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind.
Gorgeous. All right, let's hear it in the track with it off. So I'm going to do down and then up for turning it on.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind one more go. I can see through.
Brett, you see down here where the little yellow light comes on and it says 3? That's 3 dB worth of gain reduction. Check it out.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind.
And you see when it occasionally went to 6? That means it did 6 dBs worth of gain reduction. Would you like to see it again, Brett?
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind one more go.
So that's basically what we would do on an SSL. That's pretty darn good. That's very, very similar to what I do. I might get a little bit more aggressive on some of that high boost, but I'd already done quite a few of that going in. But yeah, typically 3 to 6 dBs worth of compression is more than enough. 3 was on most of the time, and then occasionally it hit 6 dB. If you were to look at my console and I had this set up hybrid, I'd be doing a very, very similar thing.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not.
Well, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about, whether we can find SSL channel strips to do this full emulation. It's a challenge, isn't it? Because, like I was saying, with Paul Tingen's article, he was talking about Rich Costey, and Paul said that it's a great article. What we'll do is we'll post it next week. I'll get Paul on the blower, and we'll go over that one. And what Rich had done was he had completely, it's about 3 years ago, completely created an SSL channel, like an SSL console inside of Pro Tools. So just by emulating everything like we're doing here.
I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind one more go.
I'm going to put it into the chorus.
Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your.
The difference in the chorus was massive for me. Here it is off.
Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off.
All right. Wow. So that was exciting. This was rather exciting. Sit there and just try something out for the, I've never done this before. Well, actually, all my reviews are like this. What am I talking about? Even the ones that I pre-tape are pretty much done in real time. But usually they're edited. Hi, Anne. But they're usually edited so that you don't hear me waffling on and making mistakes. So where I pulled up the wrong one and then went to the right one, that would have been edited out. Although sometimes we leave it in. Anyway. But you get how it works. Very, very impressed. Incredibly impressed. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not comparing this against the Waves one. That's not what I'm about. What I love is that they've teamed up with SSL here, and it's pretty spectacular. I don't know what it costs. I think somebody says like $250, but obviously for $250, you could put it on every channel and build an SSL console like Rich Costi does using SSL style plugins. Pretty amazing. All right, another. Just edit out the comments. No, I don't mind. I'm not that proud. I'm looking forward to all the videos criticizing me and telling me that I made a mistake. Bring it on, because they're all perfect. What's the joke? The best revenge is living well. I mean, the reality is I don't let any of that stuff, and you shouldn't ever let that stuff bother you, because when people are, if they trash what you do, or they're being critical of the things that you mix and the way that you do it, and tell you you're doing it wrong, and there's whole channels with that vibe, with that attitude, and that's fine. Just let them be that way. This is all about support. We have a community here where we're definitely not getting wrapped up into problems that aren't problems. Like, there is no problem with high passing. High passing has been there forever, and it's been done right by everybody. So pretending it's a big issue in music is not cool, but it's a way to get views and stuff like that. We're here to support people and telling them they're doing right. Yes, we do consolidate tracks. Yes, please like and share. And if you haven't already, please like. I see we have 338 people. Hello, 338 people. Woo! And we have 186 likes. And I would love it if we could turn that into 338 likes. Could you like it for me? Nothing said I made a mistake because they didn't win. Exactly, your work defends it itself. Just do great stuff. And if somebody tells you didn't do it right, tell them to use their ears, not their eyes. But, yeah. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's do our second giveaway. So we're going to do the giveaway of this course, and we're also going to give away the plugin as well. So there are no mistakes in experimentation. Absolutely. Let's go with the likes, says Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. We're up to 223. Woohoo! Nice. Okay, so we've talked about SSLs. We talked about whether you use SSL plugins, which ones you use. That's fantastic. What else can we talk about? I want to know a little bit more about what coffee do I make? I don't know. What coffee do we have? We sometimes get the Dunkin' Donuts one. Do you mix more in the box or on the console? I do half and half. This is completely in the box. This course you can get is in the box. It's got Bob Horn mixing on it, and it's going to be pretty spectacular. So we just need to come up with a really good question. I want to find out more about you. So this is a question. I need a question. We've talked about DAWs. We talked about plugins that you use, favorite plugins, favorite microphones, favorite artists. All right, here's a good one. I've never asked this one specifically. Anne says to use a pop filter. Pop filter. I will have to use a pop filter. Okay. I like French press as well. Okay, here's a good one. Who's your favorite songwriter? Who is your favorite songwriter? Now that's good. What I like about that question is it tells me a little bit about the kind of music that you love, because your favorite songwriter could be Max Martin. It could also be Freddie Mercury. It could be Lennon and McCartney. It could be Jaggers and Richard. It could be Carole King. It could be Goffin and King. It could be Burt Bacharach. It could be Stevie Wonder. Who is your... Oh, I love elderflower. Jerry, you got me there. I drink elderflower every day. Who's your favorite songwriter? John Lennon, Tom Waits, Zappa, great answer. Mayer, Steve Wilson, very talented. More John Lennon. Roger Waters, Warren, thank you. Dave Grohl, Beatles. Thank you for liking it. Chris Martin, that's a good answer. Lots of John Lennons. Sting, good answer. Freddie Mercury. John Mayer. John Mayer has matured into a very, very good songwriter, hasn't he? He really has. Brian May, he's a great songwriter. I have my hats off, actually. John Mayer has turned into a very, very talented songwriter. That's the great thing about people. Jeff Lynne, good answer. Roger Waters, great answer. You say Price, I assume you meant Prince. More Jeff Lynne. Dream Theater, Carole King, James Bay, Lennon McCartney. Stevie Wonder, obviously. Beck, The Walrus, nice. Mike Shinoda, Bon Jovi, Neil Sedaka, Jason Isbell, Prince, Alice Cooper, Bryan Adams, Jackson Browne, Bruce Cockburn, more Zappa, Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel. Donald Fagen. That got flagged for swearing. That's funny. It says another moderator handled this. Jeff Buckley, Neil Young, Jeff Lynne, and guitarist first, and there. Oh, McCartney. So you want a copy of this plugin, and you also want a copy of the course. Fantastic. Hendrix, Jeff Lynne, Paul McCartney, Dylan, George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Jackson Browne, Eminem, Ozzy, Tom Petty, Hans Zimmer, Irving Berlin, that's a great answer. Quincy Jones, another good answer. Miles Davis, Alejandro, a man after my own heart. Diane Warren, good answer. Alex says ghostwriters. Dave Matthews, Gabriel writes the best bridges. Yeah, Peter Gabriel. Quincy Jones, Elvis Costello, great one. Prince, Warren Zevon. J.K., that's a good idea. Coltrane. The questions are hard. The questions are just tell me who your favorite songwriter is. Could be your favorite artist. They usually write their own songs. At least the classic ones did. Miles Davis, Roger Waters, Duke Ellington, Neil Finn. Colm, that's a great answer. I'm a huge Neil Finn answer. Woodface is one of my favorite records. Gentle Giant, Mark Knopfler, Elvis Costello. I Am, says another John Fagan. Tallis says me, Charles Mingus. Joe Gilder, yay for Joe Gilder. Britney Spears, Weird Al, Stevie Wonder, Mike Patton. Virtual Riot, I don't know who that is, sorry. Billie Holiday. Bruno Mars, Marty Friedman. Neil Young, Neil Finn. LOL, don't know that, haha. David Foster, Joni Mitchell, there you go. I was waiting for a Joni Mitchell. Paige Plant, lots of Jeff Lynne's, which I love. Bowie, Muse, good one. Audio Slave, Guided by Voices. Daryl Hall, yeah, Hall & Oates. Daryl Hall is an amazing songwriter. Kate Bush, nice answer, Mark. Yep. Woodface, she goes on, yeah. Okay, so Anne says Metallica. Metallica. All right, let's keep going through this song. Okay, so we've had some fun. We've thought about it in the terms of using an SSL. So we've got the hybrid mix now, but instead of going hybrid through a console, we're creating separate buses and we're doing it. So what I want to do now is actually try that on my drum bus. So let's go and solo all of the drums. So at the moment, I let the subby kick sit outside of it because I didn't want that to kind of control the bus compression of the drum bus compression. The reason for that is that if you've got this huge low end going on and hitting a bus compressor, unless you're using sidechain compression, that could be a massive problem. So what I did here is I used a few of my old friends. I used a Mac DSP, which is the dialogue processor, which is amazing for just pinpointing horrible harsh frequencies and getting rid of them. Then the MV2, which, as all of you know, is hands down my favorite plugin that Waves make, and one of my favorite, sometimes I would say my favorite plugin ever. And then I'm crushing it with an L2. Just for schniggles, let's do something. Let's move this all up and just put it on the end. Now, you know what? See, like, I'm making up as I go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to Shift Option D. So what am I doing? I'm duplicating that. Okay. So now I'm going to turn off all these plugins here. And I'm going to have, yes, you guessed it, a parallel bus. This is what I would do on my console. So, let's try something. I am going to take this sound as it is. So I'm going to use the same settings. And I'm going to put it at the end. I think that will do more about what I want, because I want to have the same sound. If this was mixed on my console, this is what you would hear on my console. You'd hear this. Not sure, Clay, on that. I'll have to ask them. I haven't gone that far. We're just making it up as we go. So that's the sound that would come up on my console. So what I'm going to do is replicate. Let's just pretend this is my console here. This is my. We're going to call this drum sub parallel. Okay, so this is drum sub parallel now. Now I'm going to put at the very end. So even though there's an L2 on it, you might think that's crazy. What? Man, it's crazy. Yeah, I am crazy. But we're pretending this is our console. This is what is coming up on our console. So now we're going to go to the new one. Not the old one, Warren, but the new one. And let's see what they offer. Bus smash, drum rock, drum gated. That was the bass drum. Do, 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 do. Setup parallel compressor. Drum bus smash A. All right, here we go. That's pretty tasty. That's pretty darn tasty. Now, I'm gonna bring that down super low. So here it is. Except there's automation written into it. Of course there is, Warren. Of course there is. So let's get rid of the automation point there, which I don't know why it's there, but it is. So now I'm going to bring it down. I'm actually going to turn up my input gain. See this overload light here? Can you see it? Can you see me now? I'm basically doing what I do on my SSL, which is destroy it a little harder. Now I'm going to put it underneath the drum sub itself. So that is emulating what I do on my console. Let's put the whole thing in the song. Okay, so we're going to start with it off. And I'm going to do this, point down. And then when I turn it on, we're going to do this. You'll obviously be able to see it, and you should be able to hear it. It's not that loud, but I think it's adding a lot of extra energy. So I'm not going to bypass it, because bypassing it is just turning off the very end. I'm actually going to mute the parallel bus itself. So even though you can see it up here, you'll see that the bypass doesn't turn on and off. But if you look over here, down there, look over that way, you'll see, you'll see it turn on, off, on, off. But I will give you the indication. Here it is on, there it is off. Trust me, you'll hear it. Starting with it off.
Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Get it, boy, won't get your rocks off.
Cool. So normally you wouldn't see me do exactly what I'm doing. You wouldn't see me create a drum parallel and just duplicate a drum sub like that, because obviously it was already being limited. And a lot of what happens with the MV2, which, don't get me wrong, one of my favorite plugins. I mean, the MV2 is a must-have. If you don't have an MV2, get an MV2. They're usually on sale for about $29. It's an amazing plugin. So it's doing so much of the energy as standard. Listen to the drums. I mean, you hear when it comes on and off. That MV2 is giving so much of what we love. I mean, it's bringing that low-level energy. It's the dumbest, best, easiest to use plugin in the entire history of plugins. I love it. The MV2 is a game changer for me, especially on bass guitars. But what we did is with that drum sub is we imagined that the drums were mixed through the console. And so we emulated the same three set of plugins. You know, you can look at it and go, well, there's a dialogue processor, which is basically dynamic, compression, then an MV2 adding low-level energy, then an L2 over the top, some limiting. That seems a little excessive. It's not the way I would think normally. However, it's just emulating the console if it was fully mixed. Then we're adding the new Brainworks SSL 4000E at the end. Mark's saying Waves need to give me commission for MV2 sales because everybody's buying it. Well, you know, God bless them. But I think, anyway, so I think what we did with this SSL study there is really... Love it. Love it. Okay, so there's some parallel drum compression. But as Reed Shippen was saying a couple of weeks ago when we were in Nashville, get the drums to sound really, really good. Use parallel compression at the end. When I watch, somebody says I need to do on how to do the Warren dance, $49. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Greg said he bought the MV2 yesterday. I'm not going to do a shootout, a generic shootout between the Waves and the SSL and the Brainworks. That wasn't really the point of doing this. The point of this was to show you the thing about this song is that it's completely recorded on 7 mics on the drum kit using inexpensive mics. There was nothing flashy about this. It's got virtual instruments on it, so as well as live guitars. This is a song that anybody could do at home. I wrote it with the singer in this room and recorded it, over a day or two. So the demo is the song, is the recording, is the finished thing. And I feel like I want to feature songs like this because this is real world. This is what you will be doing. If you bring an artist over to your home studio, this is what you're doing. And now we're mixing it in the box with a combination of different plugins that you love. L2 and MV2 don't have any threshold stuff. I don't know what they're doing or how to use them. Alex, just mess with it. I mean, all I find when I use the MV2 is I turn up the low level and it has energy below. But as soon as I start hitting the high level, the output goes up quite dramatically. So I start cutting the output. That's the only thing I think about when I'm doing this. Low level gives me that energy, gives me that whoa. It's like, it feels like it's parallel compressing underneath, and then the high level chops off the top of the transients nicely. It's a really dumb, easy to use plugin. Okay. What else can we go to? We did lead guitars. We did the vocal. We did drums. Wow, we're running out of stuff. The last thing to do is synths, which I actually think could do with some love. So let's bring them up here. Get them out the way. Okay, Denis. Alrighty. That was the worst Scottish accent ever. If you're watching in the mix, I apologize, Michael, for doing that. Feel free on your next live stream to ridicule me with an English accent. Yeah, we'll talk like this if you like. All right. So what I'm going to do is you guessed it, I'm going to bust these together. Creating an auxiliary. Yes, I'm moving slow. I'm moving slowly to illustrate it. Okay, we'll call it, yes, you guessed it, synth sub or synth bus or synth auxiliary, whatever you want to call it. So here they are all together. I've got a pretty low ceiling for my drums. It's got a little bit of a vault in it, so it's a little bit higher there, so it's a little better than if I had a super low ceiling. But, the dry mics on my drum kit are pretty basic. I want to turn that up. All right, so let's have a look. Let's see if they have a preset for this. As you know, I have not done any research on this. I just open it up and start playing with it and make mistakes all the time. Okay, let's see if they've got. Did not check anything to do with keyboards. Do they have a keyboard preset? They've got lots of guitar stuff. They've got piano. FM sounds rough. Interesting. FM sounds rough. Piano attitude, piano clean. Let's go to, you know what? I don't know what FM sounds rough means. Let's try it. Wow. That's crazy. I want to hear that in a track. I do have the air vacuum plugin. We actually talked about it earlier, Hamish. You may have just missed that. Okay, that's far too over the top. But it was fun. Okay, so... Wow, that's some excessive EQ. Wow. I'm just having fun with this, seeing what they've got. Yeah, far too much highs on the synths. I'm just hitting some presets here to see what they would do. You know, I have no criticism of them because the presets aren't even designed for what I was using them for. So I'm going to go back to factory default and we're going to have a listen. All right, so I like what I just did there. So what I've got is I've got some compression, quite a lot. Depends where it gets louder. Where it was here. So that was fun. So what I'm doing there is quite a lot of compression where it gets really built up in that bridge. I've cut a little bit of. I haven't. I boosted a bit of 2K. Just wanted a bit of honkiness, bit of 800-ish, bit more mid-range, a bit of about 100, 150. But then I've got up to about the same area and high passed. So combination, little fatter, a little bit more high mids. Not crazy. Here's on and off. I'm just exaggerating more of what I like. So let's have a listen.
Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off.
Fantastic. Really, really impressed. Yeah, somebody's saying it's like $250. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, $250. Look, I'm not selling. I'm just talking. I think if you used it the way I'm thinking about using SSL plugins, basically an SSL plugin for me is getting rid of a console. And as somebody pointed out, consoles cost lots and lots of money. So if it means that I could work hybrid and not have to work hybrid and work fully in the box and use it, that's pretty remarkable. Yeah. Thank you. Glad you're dancing. All right, let's do our last giveaway. Thank you, everybody that's been watching here. We have 267 likes. We have 353 people watching. Could you please like? Oh, the singer is called Lily, and the band is called Little Empire. You can go to Spotify and you can do it. And there is a remix competition, but not of this song. John, they just released it officially today. It came out soft release a few days ago. Anyway, so I want to know more about you. First of all, would you please like? If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It'd be absolutely amazing. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and that bell, and you're going to get notified. We do these at least twice a week. So you'll get notified the next time we do one. So I want to know more about you. We actually asked about what your favorite songwriter was. Here's a weird one. I want to know a little bit more about you. I think that all great producers, engineers, and mixers, and this is okay, work on multiple genres of music. I did play all the guitars, yes. Work on multiple genres of music, but I think, thank you, please subscribe if you haven't. I think we all work on multiple genres of music, but it would be fair to say, and it's okay if you admitted that you are mainly a rock guy, or you're mainly an EDM person, or you're mainly country, or you're mainly, whatever it might be. Hello in Derbyshire. Bob really is your Uncle Mark. I'm glad to see that. So how about this? Let us know. What genre do you either work in, mainly work in, or ideally work in? Because I'm trying to get to know our audience. So if you were asked, what is your genre? What is it? What is your genre? What do you think that you do? And it's okay. You could write country, death metal, punk. You could have 15 different ones. But what genre do you mainly work in? Mainly metal? Rock, blues, R&B, rock. Remember, this is to win a copy of the plugin, and you've got a 1 in 309 chance of winning this, which is actually pretty good odds. Actually, more than that, because EDM, jazz rock, classical, ambient, rock, gospel, hard rock, classic rock, big band, lovely. Modern jazz, wonderful. Mainly Radiohead, love that. That's specific. Goth rock and metal. Bakersfield sound, that's very specific. Drum and bass. Pop country. Funk disco pop, rap, hip hop, hard rock, instrumental rock, heavy rap, classical jazz, rockish punk rock, rap, fusion of everything I can. That's nice. Punk, rap, EDM, drum and bass, 60s rock and funk, classic rock, hip-hop, funk disco, rock punk, metal, country and 50s rock and roll, children's music, nice, hip-hop, new age, piano for friends, metal, greatness. Lauren says greatness. Mix of blues, Texican rock album. Oh, nice, rock album. Country, Texas country rap, Americana. And Ben Davies won. And Ben Davies said rock and indie. And they just won a copy of the Brainworks SSL 4000E mixing in the box. And also this course. So thank you, everybody. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We're going to be back next week doing another one of these, another couple of these. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think I might start next week with a song from scratch, like something that I've never worked on before. Just bring out the stuff and try out some, do some fun things. It says adult films. Do you mean like films written for people that aren't 3 years old? Bada boom ching. Congratulations, Ben. Thank you. Congratulations to everybody that won. Thank you ever so much for Brainworks for sending us that plugin to try. And I'm glad everybody got to experience me using the old one by mistake for a few minutes and then us going to the new one so that we could actually find out what's different. I thought that was rather good. Mistakes are a wonderful thing. So thank you ever so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Please like and share. And come back and join us again. Tomorrow is, well, there's three very exciting things going on at the moment. So firstly, subscribe, because if you subscribe, you're going to find out more about the exciting things. Firstly, there is a mix/remix competition going on. So if you haven't already, please enter the mix remix competition. The prizes are insane. There's Lewitt microphones. There is a DAW. There are headphones by Biodynamic. There's all kinds of goodness going on. Oh, and we're giving away every single course that ProMix Academy does. So please enter the mixing competition. That's number one. Secondly, you can download Daryl Thorpe's recording using all Loughton audio mics. You can do that. That came out yesterday. Go and check that out. So have you done that yet? Go and download that. And thirdly, and this is really exciting for all of my classic rock friends. How many people here are rock and classic rock fans? How many of you are here? There's lots of rock and classic rock fans. Well, tomorrow's very exciting. Tomorrow we're releasing a course for charity. All of the profits are going to charity. The charity is St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which is very, very close to many of our hearts. The course is going to be a Dick Wagner song recorded at Sunset Sound featuring Danny Seraphin from Chicago playing drums, Elliot Easton from the Cars playing guitar, Leland Sklar playing bass. Percussion and background vocals was Carmine Appice or Appice. It's pretty fantastic. Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad is singing on it. So you can buy that course. It's coming out tomorrow. It's very close to my heart. It's very important. All of the profits will be going to a wonderful charity, and you're going to get to be able to mix some of the best musicians in the world recording at Sunset Sound. It's going to be really wonderful. Okay, thank you ever so much. You all rock. Please, oh, I got a dislike for doing the charity thing there. Hey, dislike. Hey, dislike. Classy. Anyway, so yeah, Danny's an amazing drummer. His drums were so good. You can solo his drums and spend hours mixing those. Oh, and also Fred Mendel from Elton John's band played keys. And Leland Sklar, one of the greatest bass players ever to live and one of the sweetest guys on the planet. Elliot is amazing. Oh, and Jennifer Batten played guitar on it. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be really, really fantastic. So I hope you all buy that, knowing that you're giving to a great cause. Yeah, really, really wonderful. It's very classy, very, very... it's okay. We always get dislikes when you do good things. I think it's just when people are like, oh... we're always like seeing people putting us down for helping. But, you know, it's all about community. You are an amazing community. Thank you for the 300 of you left watching me waffle on. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, sign up for the email list. You'll get a whole bunch of free goodies. You're going to find out tomorrow about this course. Please go and download Daryl Thorpe's recording at Sunset Sound with Steve Magora. Those files are incredible. It's really amazing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Plugin Boutique, for Brainworks, for giving us that. Plugin Boutique. Plugin Alliance. Plugin Alliance. Thanks, Plugin Alliance, for giving that. Giving us that. You rock. Dick wrote the song. Dick wrote the song. You're going to find out more about it. You'll see the video tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Yes, I'm waffling on. I know. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking it out. Please please subscribe if you haven't already, and have a marvelous time recording and mixing. You all rock. I'm going to go when I can figure out how to sign out. Let's go to the right page. Already, and remember, there's 50% off this course if you want to buy this course. Give back to the give back to the pay my bills fund. All right, have a marvelous time recording and mixing. Speak to you all again very, very soon. I'm going to hit the stop streaming